But we'll give another minute here as folks continue to trickle in, and then we will get started with week 10 of the next level. We're talking about organizational management. So we got a few people continue to pop in here, but week 10 coming up. Make an announcement before we get started here that if you remember, graduation is December 4th. So we're going to do December 4th, which is a Friday, 2 weeks from this Friday. Yeah, 2 weeks from this Friday, we'll be doing graduation from 12 to 1:30. If you've attended at least 6 of these next level classes, you are invited to graduation. You'll be getting an official invite. And if you have questions, or if you have questions, feel free to contact us. But if you graduated from boot camp, you can we can use your bio and your headshot from there. But just like we've said every week, that if you are graduating, you do want a bio and a headshot so that we can build a slide just for you, and we can put that up on our slide deck. We'll also do social media posts with everybody for each graduate to show your accomplishments here and your success here. We're also going to have the mayor on the call at graduation to come in and say a few words and congratulate everybody who's gone through the class. So please show up for graduation. Invite your friends, invite your family. We want everybody to enjoy your success and to have an opportunity for 90 minutes to just celebrate you. So December 4th from 12 to 1:30, December 4th from 12 to 1:30. That's a Friday, and we'll be having graduation.
Yay!
Jahida just put the link to graduation to register in the chat. So if you guys want to fill that out, you can also send that to anybody who you want to, we'll get you the link for those who are going to attend graduation as your guests. But if you're going to be part of graduation, fill this out. That way we have your registration information on hand. We know who's going to be there, and we'll be getting everything for that wrapped up here really soon. If you attended boot camp graduation, you know how much fun it was to go through that and hear everybody's names called and their businesses called, and then to kind of cheer and shout with everybody. That was a lot of fun to hear everybody celebrate their classmates. Mr. McCarley, what do you think? Do you think we're ready to get started here?
Yeah, let's get this rocking and rolling because it's going to be an interesting day.
Wonderful. Cool. Well, happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to week 10 of the next level presented by Pathstone Enterprise Center and the Small Business Education Institute. Mr. McCarley is here to teach us about organizational management and the mindset of an entrepreneur. He's right there waving to you. And of course, as we are every week, the next level is sponsored by KeyBank. So big thanks to our partners over at KeyBank for allowing us to come into your living rooms or your car or your office, wherever you are, and allowing us to educate you and inform you and to have some fellowship with you as we go through this. I know the pandemic is weird, and I know that we're entering another uncomfortable phase of the pandemic as we go back into lockdown or some phase of lockdown here. But you have us for the next few weeks to take your mind off that every Monday from 12 to 1:30. So let's, in the next 90 minutes, let's focus on you and not the crazy world out there. So we'll go through the announcements here. The biggest thing about today is education and engagement. And the easiest way to engage with us is through the chat feature. You guys know that. It's a little chat bubble down there at the bottom center of your screen. You can ask questions, you can make comments, you can network with your fellow classmates here in Next Level. And if you're not comfortable using the chat, if you'd rather come off of mute and ask your question out loud to the group, to the speakers, to the members of our team, you can do that as well. We just ask that if you have a headset or a microphone that's not part of the computer, that you use that. It kind of helps cut down on some of the static and the background noise. When you're not using your microphone, when you're not speaking, whether for a moment or the entirety of the session, we ask that you mute yourself because, again, it cuts down on that background noise. Anything that's going on in the background, I know a lot of us have, a lot of you have kids who are in virtual school, or you're taking care of somebody, or you're at work, or you're doing 15 other things. We know that that's crazy right now with the pandemic. We just want to make sure that we're keeping it as quiet as possible for Mr. McCarley and for the Pat Stone team in terms of kind of background noise. So go to the next thing here, if I can get my mouse to work. There we go. So announcements. Guys, this is week 10 of 12 weeks. So we've got 2 more weeks after today of the Next Level workshop series. So next week and the following week will be weeks 11 and 12. So join us for that, 12 to 1:30 on Mondays. And then after that, 2 weeks from this Friday, graduation. So December 4th from 12 to 1:30, we'll be graduating. Anybody who has attended at least 6 of these workshops in Next Level will get to graduate. You're invited to graduation. If you are going to be a graduate, we ask that you send a headshot and your bio, so we can put that in a slideshow and celebrate you and promote you. And we'll talk about you and your business in that slideshow. So please send us that. If you send us one for boot camp, we can go ahead and use that, but you got to let us know. If you graduated from boot camp and we have your headshot and bio, let us know in the chat. We'll use that one. Mind Your Business class. For those of you who are looking to further your education as an entrepreneur, mindyourbusinessclass.weebly.com. Take a look at that and sign up. We'll be extending 1 or 2 scholarships to some of the Pat Stone family here. So sorry, I'm admitting people here as I go through. So some of you who are part of our cohorts and our classes, a couple of you will be getting scholarships to the Mind Your Business class. That is something you have to pay. It's not through Pat Stone. It's through one of our partners. And but you can check that out at mindyourbusinessclass.weebly.com to learn more about that and to register there as well. One thing that is free is the Road to Wealth, which takes place this Thursday from 3 to 5 p.m. The Road to Wealth is presented by Capital Connect, and we'll be doing that to inform business owners and entrepreneurs about grant opportunities, financial management, financing options here in upstate and Western New York. And so join us for that. It's free, 3 to 5 p.m. This Thursday is kind of the second part in a series we started a few weeks ago with through Capital Connect. So join us there to learn more about how to fund your business and how to get COVID relief money and how to manage finances in the middle of these crazy times. And the last pitch of the day is for the Profit and Loss podcast. That is something we are doing through Pat Stone Enterprise Center. Jahida and I are the hosts. So the Profit and Loss podcast, anywhere you get your podcast, it's free. It's 30 minutes. It's quick. Every now and then I make a fool of myself. So if for no other reason than that, you should listen to it. And you'll get an email. Most of you are going to get an email with the link to the podcast in it every week. So just keep an eye out for that. If you have any questions about anything going on, you can put it in the chat right now. You can also reach us. A lot of you know how to contact us. The quickest way to contact us is pecky@patstone.org. So PECI@patstone.org. That's kind of a centralized email, so you can send your questions, comments, concerns there, and we'll make sure we get everything answered for you. So now I'm going to hand it over to Dion and let her do the fun stuff here and interact with you guys, so you guys can learn. So you guys can take an opportunity to pitch your business to the class using the script here on the screen. And Dion, with that, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Adam. Hello, everyone. I missed you last week. Before I get started with this, Adam, I just want to add to what you talked about earlier, the Women's Business Center e-network program scholarships. We will be giving 3 of our graduates a scholarship to the Women's Business Center e-networking program for women entrepreneurs. I'm going to plug a link in the chat to their website where you'll get more information about that. And as Adam said, Mind Your Business is a program specifically for event planners, and we will be providing 1 or 2 scholarships to graduates of our PECI business training programs. So you have that to look forward to on December 4th. We're going to have a fantastic graduation. I'm really excited about it. Adam and Jahida are planning a really great event for all of you who are graduating. Okay, so let me see. Who should I call on today? I think I tried to call on Manan at another class.
Hi,
Hi, Manan. How are you?
good, good. Do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm
Do you
sorry I
have
missed a
the,
few
do you have the
classes.
Medicab, Manan? Do you have the Medicab?
Huh?
Do you have the Medicab?
Yes, I have Medicap. That's why I missed some classes because myself I drive.
I see.
When it's
That's
schedule conflicting with the training, I will be on the road, but
Mhm. Makes perfect sense. So why don't you, using the script on the screen, tell us about yourself and your business.
okay, thank you. My name is Manan Chukaleu. I'm the owner and the founder for the Safe Mobility Service Rights. This company is established to provide the medical services for those folks who need access to medical services, but they don't have mobility to get access to the services and enjoy their health services. We started way back on March 2019, and we're doing very well. We started only with 2 vehicles. And before coronavirus, we have 12 fleets on the roads. And with the team that we put it together, we were able to not only to provide service around the area county, but we expand our services as far as surrounding county, Chautauqua County, Caracas County, and Niagara County. So we are doing, great. We're happy. We love what we're doing. We're making difference for our community in Western New York. So we are exciting, we're hiring 12 people, driver before the coronavirus, but now we are down to 8 drivers. Thank you. We have website, which is Safe Mobility Services Rights, www.safemobilityservicesrights.com. You can check it online, so you can find our website there. And we're based in Buffalo. We have office location in 4185 Seneca Street, across the Western Union Road. Yeah. Thank you.
Great, Manan, that was some really great information. Good job presenting. Can you plug in that information, your website, your location, phone number, all of that's great stuff into the chat, please.
Thank you. I'll be happy to do that.
And if you have a Facebook page, plug that in the chat. We'll get on Facebook, like your page, share your page.
Yeah, we have Facebook, but it's not functioning.
Okay, then that's fine. Whatever you
but
have.
Website is good, it's functioning. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see. Next person, Barbara Robertson.
Barbara's exempt.
Oh, she's exempt. Okay, so Carmelita and Barbara are exempt. Makisha? Hello, Makisha. Are you able to chat with us this afternoon? Okay. Simone, how about you?
Yes, good morning. As long as it's okay if I don't turn on my camera.
That's fine.
Just for today.
That's fine.
Wow. Okay.
It's been a rough week, and I'm a doctoral student. I am a full-time employee and trying to manage this. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. You
But
are you are all things, Simone. It's fine. It's fine. Don't listen to Michael. Go ahead, dear.
okay. Hello, my name is Simone Ragland, and I am the founder, owner of Families Aimed Toward Excellence, LLC, an establishment engaged in family support services and educational services. And so right now, well, okay. The business was born out of the observation that there was a need for specifically STEM support education for underrepresented populations in the STEM careers, as well as females. So one of our solutions to this problem has been to create opportunities, experiential learning opportunities for students of the underrepresented. When I say underrepresented, I'm speaking of African American, Latino, Hispanic population, as well as people from Alaskan descent, Native Americans, or economically disadvantaged. So one of our solutions that we have created, or especially during COVID, has been tech support for families in Buffalo whose children are doing online learning. One of the gaps that we have found is that it's not just about the children learning, it's about the parents, right? So parents are struggling because their digital skills and their digital literacy is challenged. Therefore, the struggle is not just with the students, but with the parents. So we have this idea that we created, it's called Mobile Tech Lab. So what we're doing is providing in-home support for parents. So first they call, I've been fortunate enough to have the guidance counselor, the director of the guidance counselors to circulate our flyers. And the guidance counselors have shared our number with parents who have actually been calling us. It's slowed down, but in the first few weeks, I mean, we got so many calls. And a lot of the things that parents needed were very simple. Some of them we could do right over the phone. Something as simple as restarting the iPad, right? Or there were situations where parents had not taken the iPad in to get the updated software installed. So what we would do, I had a family of a parent who had 5 children, and she said, there's no way I can go and stand in line with these 5 kids to get this done. So we went, picked up the iPad, took it, and had it serviced and returned it to the family. Like, to me, that's the kind of work I want to do. And so, like I said, it's kind of slowed down, but we have absolutely gone to the homes. I mean, simple things like connecting the computer to the Wi-Fi. And so, so I hope I've answered all of the questions about what we're doing. Now, the struggle that I have is that this is supposed to be a profit-making business, but I'm every day I'm struggling because I feel like it's more of a nonprofit, because I want to provide the service and I don't really care if the people can pay for it or not. I just want to make sure that I'm supporting the community. So I shouldn't say I don't care. I'd like for it to make money, but I'm more interested in providing that service.
Yes, Simone, can I just tell you, what you're doing is so incredibly important. It seems like, simple stuff, maybe meaningless stuff to some people, but what you're doing is so important, because we're seeing reports of the fact that low-income students are not learning. There is virtual teaching, but
Exactly.
there is no virtual learning. They are not
Absolutely.
learning in this virtual environment. And it's sometimes very simple things or simple to us that is preventing them from perhaps getting online or grasping the topic, the subject that's being taught. And what you're doing is so important. And what you should be thinking about is, how can I get the county or the school district to pay me to do this? They should be paying
Yes,
you to do this.
that's right. You're right.
They should be,
So
and perhaps we need to be in conversation about this, Simone. This should not be a nonprofit business. No, they should pay you to do this service for their students and their parents. So great job. I am so proud of you and what you're doing. And I want to talk more with you about how we can help you to actually earn income doing what you're doing.
thank you. That's why I'm on this. That's why I keep coming here, because I'm like, I know that this is something that is valuable to the community.
Absolutely.
But can
Very
I
much.
also say on the sidebar that I actually on my job, which is I actually wrote a grant and got it approved like last week. So for this very thing, but it's not exactly what we're doing, but it is a mobile tech lab that we're offering, but from a community agency standpoint. So I'm super excited about that. So we know the need is there, and we know that there are dollars available. But I love that. I hadn't even thought about the idea of doing it from a contract standpoint. So Dion, thank you. I'm excited.
You're welcome. So I will be in touch with you, Simone.
Oh, please. Yes. Yes, please.
Just plug in the chat your availability. Matter of fact, I will put my email in the chat, and you can send me an email with your availability and phone number. Do I have time for one more? Adam, Michael?
Yeah,
No.
I think Carmelita wanted to go. Is that,
Yeah.
can we do that?
Oh,
Did she get in?
she's
She
here.
said she was in. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic. Okay, well, Carmelita, how are you doing? Let's hear your pitch. Are we sure she?
Well,
Carmelita, you're on mute.
well, she was originally going to call in because she was having apparently some technical issues. And then she said she was going to wait till next, if she could do it for next week.
That's what I thought you said, Michael.
Yeah.
Well, no pressure. Next week is fine. So let's see, one last person very quickly. Sherelle Warren. Would you like an opportunity to practice your pitch?
Sherelle wants to pass.
Okay. Latoy Shayna, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You can just call me Toy.
Toy, you are the coupon queen, are you not?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I am good, thank you.
Okay, well, let me start. My name is Latoya Shanae Jetter, and I'm the president and owner of Coupon Queen, which has been rebranded into Coupon University. It's an establishment engaged in teaching financial courses to the youth as well as low-income families. We teach coupon courses, credit courses, as well as cash flow courses. The business was born out of the observation that there was a need for financial courses for those that are in low. There was an observation that there was a need for financial courses. I'm sorry, I'm going off the top of my head and not from my notes. For those low income families in our community, and that's who we provided for. Our solution is to contract with various community organizations. We are contracted with CAO. and just recently received a contract with Say Yes as well as Matt Urban Center. And we accomplished this by providing free courses to the community, resulting in families succeeding and acquiring their everyday needs and taking the money saved and taking those monies to pay off debt and do other things. That was horrible, but there it is.
No, it was not. Thank you so much. That was really very good. Thank all of you who shared. You're doing fantastic work, and your pitch is getting better. You're honing those pitches. Very, very good. Adam?
Thank you, Dion. Yeah, guys, every week it gets better. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. I know there's a lot of anxiety and stress around your pitch, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. Trust me, I've watched this. I've done it 1,000 times. So just keep doing it. Practice at home, practice in front of the mirror, practice with another person, practice with people you don't know. Maybe not in the middle of a pandemic, maybe over the phone, but stay safe when you pitch. And now I'm going to hand it over to Mr. McCarley to teach us how to stay safe when we manage our organization. So Mr. McCarley, week 10 is all yours, sir. I'm going to give you hosting power. So you're the man with the power now.
Okay, thank you. What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Week 10. I know y'all are getting tired of me, but that's all right. I love y'all anyway. All right, so as usual, we are definitely going to go through the program set. This will stop sharing. Do you want to continue? Yes. All righty. Where are we at here?
Sorry, that was
All
me,
right.
Mike. I had to stop sharing my screen.
Okay, no problem. All right, so thank you, Barbara. Thank you very much. All right, so week 10, ladies and gentlemen, we are punching through. We are actually going to reach the promised land here. And again, week 12 is going to be a wonderful surprise for many of you. So, the agenda, of course, today, like I say, week 10, amazing. Time flies when you're actually having fun learning. Again, we learned what it was as a part of the basic introduction to the new universe in which we're entering. You learned about your story, part of which we keep doing every week with regard to the initial pitch. You had conversations and began to learn about numbers. Numbers are enormously important. Please keep this in mind. You don't have to be an accountant, but it behooves you to understand what your numbers mean when they are put together. And then we talked about marketing, not from the aspect of let's put it out there on social media, print media, word of mouth, but what we were looking at in the establishment of a business plan in particular, or a loan package, that what of the marketplace are you actually getting? How many individuals that are actually out there that you believe will actually purchase your services? And we came up with a 3% number, which normally flies under most financial people's radar. You're not trying to absorb the entire market, but we worked on how you justify that only 3% of all the individuals that you think you're going to get are enough to support your business initially. Now we talked about the success formula. And the difference between the success formula and before success was the simple fact of your lifestyle living and your retirement. Remember, as independent business owners. And I would also stretch this to those who are looking to kind of do not-for-profits. You have to establish some type of plan which includes your retirement. Then we talked about Porter's 5 forces. Those things that we don't necessarily initially think about and quite honestly aren't taught, not directly, but all impact our particular business. And then we were talked about the projections, which are guesstimates, but they are part of your planning process. What would I like things to look like when I put that down and then I execute the business appropriately? Am I able to make the numbers that I have actually projected? And if not, understand why. Week 8, We talked about succession planning. Again, an aspect of planning. There is a first expansion to the business itself. You get individuals to start replacing you for certain duties. You're delegating to other individuals to help the business actually grow. And ultimately, there may be the decision that either you need to be replaced or actually one of your other managers that are in your company because you've grown to that particular size. And to think about what's necessary, especially with regard to actions, activities, skills, and knowledge in order to replace that person. And then we also talked about exiting the business. And there were really three primary aspects to exiting the business, which is either you're bought out, you're sold, or you just close the doors. And each one of those particular actions has a very specific impact, not only just the business, on the business, but it also impacts you individually. And for this particular week, what we're now going to talk about is actually organizational management. And this week is going to be interesting because this particular segment was actually quite long, because it introduced information that a lot of times we really don't deal with when putting business plans together. And a lot of times for other people who put these plans together, don't really think about it, don't really know about it. But one of the things that happened in COVID was the validation not only for the business, i.e. that it existed, but really who's in charge of the shop? You know, are the inmates actually running the asylum, or are you running it? Is the business running you, or are you actually running the business? So these are things to actually think about, and I'm going to introduce a couple interesting points of discussion. And I would like people to actually discuss if they feel, or at least put the information definitely in the chat based on a couple of questions that I am going to ask in this particular section. This particular one is unique because the way you set your business up becomes enormously important. And a lot of things that are normally also not talked about or are not talked about are things such as what in fact is that management? What is that management tree that actually exists? What are some key people that you may actually have? Today, we're going to talk about or introduce things that I want you to be able to think about. But additionally, you have things like who are your resources and partners, which are also a part of this organization management piece. And again, these are things that we're going to begin to talk about today. So next on the agenda on The Price is Right. First of all, is everybody here? Give me a thumbs up if you would, please. Or put a comment in the chat that says that you are here, you're listening, you're available, and you're ready. All right, I've got a couple people who are showing all right, we're getting more response, cool. This is enormously important because I want people to be able to understand what's going on. Like I say, a lot of times we are not told this information. And I'm not going to say rightfully so, but it is your responsibility, however, as a business owner, to understand what is actually going on, why you need to do some of the things you need to do, and if nothing else, be able to find individuals who will help you, the partnerships which are necessary, that are in play. And so Dion has actually extended her hand out to Simone, which I think is enormously important. But for everybody that is on this particular webinar, you are a part of this educational process. It's not about us just talking every week and here you go, we go on about our business. We are here to try to help you. So please, please keep that in mind. One of Pat Stone's purposes, and again, I'm enormously appreciative and thankful that Pat Stone has actually gone to this particular venture. I also want to thank KeyBank for their support also with regard to what is actually happening here. This is a new day, a new world, and we got to make the best of it, COVID or no COVID. So, as usual, where are you guys standing? Where are you mentally, physically, financially, and or spiritually? Give me some numbers. Let me know what's going on. Where are you at today? Is there anybody that's 10 across the board? Because if you are, I need to definitely call you up. We're going to take a blood sample, we're going to clone you, and we're going to spread you along the rest of the world so everybody else is 10 across the board as well. Okay? All righty, we're getting some numbers in here. Good, good, good. Things are looking better. And as I mentioned beforehand, I am observing how these numbers also seem to be going on. I'm not physically recording them myself, but these are also for you. So you can figure out if you're having an issue in a particular area. Let's see what we can do to possibly make it better. All right, good, good. Some are getting better, some are definitely getting better. Got 20 people on this call and I got 8 responses. So there we go. All right, we're getting a little more. Good, good. Yeah, a couple more minutes. There we go. Getting better, getting better. Love it, love it. And again, sometimes too, I believe there may be one or two people I have not actually contacted back yet, but again, give me a call. The stuff that you want to talk about, I am here to help. All righty, so let's move on to the next item. Last week, what did we discuss? Again, that exit strategy. Sell, be acquired, or closed. Each particular item has a different impact and a different requirement for going about making it happen. Again, you got to manage buyout. That's normally somebody internally or a group internally that wants to really kind of buy that business. Okay. Sell it to somebody from the outside. Okay. That's an outside sale. Another inside component is the employee stock ownership plan, the ESOP. This has a tendency of has become more interestingly popular with manufacturing. But again, something to take a look at. We're doing an initial public offering. Quick comment about IPOs. IPOs are really interesting. And there's a lot of stuff that's been a part of these 12 weeks. This information that's been provided to you has actually been based on a lot of the information which is required by doing a public offering, an IPO. And so the whole issue of not only how is your organization set up, which we're going to touch on today, but also where your numbers are at, who's doing what, why are they doing it, why do you have a need for actually obtaining funds, as it were, from the outside. But most importantly, you have to be some corporate structure to make this happen. There's either an LLC, a subchapter S, or a C Corp, okay? And each one of those particular entities has a different impact, not only with what you do, but how you set it up. And then, of course, just selling it to the family, okay? I say selling it, but you transfer it. And a lot of the laws have changed for IRS now, especially with regard to estate taxes. So therefore, when you transfer to the family, a lot of times it's transferred through trust. But be very, very clear that the majority of high net worth owners, these are people we normally don't necessarily recognize on a day-to-day basis. Their children, they don't expect their children to quite honestly take over the business. So that's important while you're thinking about, well, my children are going to take over the business. Yeah, well, you need to be real clear on that, and that's going to be a long process, a lot like the succession planning. You got to bring them in. You have to teach them and educate them a lot of what's going on in business. But more interestingly, please never forget you're providing a service to the community. And let me expand on the aspect of the term community. A lot of what many of us are doing is actually impacting, or we wanted to impact, the internal community that we actually have. The individuals that are around us, the people that we deal with, the churches that we go to. But be very clear that community can actually mean a larger set than what you're actually dealing with. And I've already had one conversation where my suggestion has actually been, because of what they want to do, is you will provide services to anybody that is willing to pay for them. But as a result of that, getting individuals to pay you for the service that you actually have may really allow you to take those additional funds to put them to what I call your pet projects. This is part of your philanthropy. This is part of your give back to the community, because your community may not actually be able to support your activities. Please keep that in mind. I got way too many people who are doing stuff for the community, and they're having trouble figuring out why they don't seem to be going anywhere, or the difficulties that are actually in play. And I'm gonna pick on Simone again, but yes, you want stuff to happen. You're providing the need. It's necessary. It's out there. But your existence is actually based on the fact of you generating funds, not only just because they're for you so you can at least maintain a household, but it is actually for the fact that your business stays alive. So not only can you continue to provide those services, but you can actually expand those services to the communities that need it most. Enormously important. And then, of course, it's just a basic aspect. I just shut the doors. But be very clear. Most of the individuals that just shut their doors for businesses are also impacted by an interesting reality. They owe money to other people. So now part of the thought process is, how am I going to pay off my particular debt if I just shut the doors? Matter of fact, that's probably one of the most difficult choices many of us as business people have, because the business was what was making us money when it made us money. Now I have to close the door, and I still owe people, and those people are looking to get paid. So we really have to take a look at how we're going to handle that. So does anybody have any questions offhand? Let me know, raise your hands, talk to me, send me a message. Is everybody clear on this? Okay. Now, next on the agenda. Give me just one moment. Actually putting the message in. All righty. So, again, some of you have done this. This is the first part. This is part of the pitch. This is written another way, but this is still a part of the pitch. Introducing yourself. I am the position I am in the company, what my company does. Observation. Why was the business started? Because it was an observation of a need in a particular environment. Notice I didn't say community per se, but in a particular environment. And you recognize that there was a pain or an inability or something that needed to be solved. We have many solutions a lot of times, or we do a lot of things. And this is really kind of a feature of the business itself, but we don't have to explain it. But we can take one of our solutions and we simply just make, this is the one solution that we actually have. We got a 17,000 point checklist that we go through in order to actually take a look at and remedy a particular component. And how do we actually do that? We take the customer really for a journey and really help them. This is the benefit, to accomplish what they're looking to accomplish. And this is the result. This is a piece a lot of people have not actually really said in their presentations, and I get it. But one of the things about the result is from the customer's perspective. What is it about the particular customer? What is it that, how they feel about the services that you've actually provided for them? That becomes enormously important. And that is an interesting hook, okay? When you talk about the solution, it's a hook. How you're gonna accomplish the solution. You're not giving them a major explanation. There is information which is being put out there, which is a hook. So as long as we keep these things in mind, We don't get caught up in having long conversations with individuals that would not provide us benefit based on the business we're trying to engage. But we also get an opportunity to learn more about the individual in which we're dealing with. This is the second part of the pitch. This is the piece that I have in store for you as a major event for week 12. Everybody definitely needs to be there, but this is part of the expansion of introducing what it is you've got. Again, tidbits which are actually out there that are hooks for individuals to ask you more questions. This piece here, competitive analysis, who your competition is, have an idea of who you're dealing with and actually are, I don't want to say against, but they're the individuals, as is mentioned in Porter's 5 forces, these are the folks that you actually run in the race with. Some of them may be larger, some of them may be your size, but the key point is there anything that actually makes you different? And this piece that we're going to talk about today, which is the management team. Who are the stars? Who are you actually dealing with? Who's helping you in the process? This particular picture here is what's called the business model canvas, but you notice in the highlighted area, the value proposition. This is what you've got. This is what you're delivering to people. This is what has value. You have certain relationship with your individuals. These are normally long or short term, depending on the services that are being put into play. Your channels have a tendency of being, how are you getting out to them? How are you letting them know that you're actually there? And of course, your customer segment, which we will not be able to get through in this particular course set, but it actually takes a look at not only the demographics, who is it you're actually looking to go for? Male, female, or for the particular area, particular state, particular country. But this also talks about and can get into what are the pains that actually exist for the particular customer, which is why what you're providing here, that value proposition, becomes enormously important to them. These two pieces, the value proposition and the customer segment, actually function and work in the same sphere of influence. And again, it's a short model using the lemonade stand. Of course, your value proposition is cold refreshing beverage. Your customer segment in this particular case are people who pass the lemonade stand. You get larger and do a brick and mortar, then it's, who are you looking for? The folks who are in the particular community that you're actually in. Do people have to travel to get to you? The lemonade is made in such a fashion. It's just people come from around the world to actually taste your lemonade. The channels, of course, how you're reaching them, okay? And again, because you're delivering on a particular value proposition at your particular stand or brick and mortar, and however you're reaching these people, you're reaching them because there is an understanding that what you have is phenomenal. Again, your relationship is going to be long-term or short-term. And the revenue stream, which we have not talked about often, but it is a part of the conversation. What are the revenues that look like they're going to be generated over the next year? And what's interesting about revenue stream, it plays into the customer segment, which plays into the marketing piece that I talked about, the 3%. I want everybody to be very, very clear. And for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to stress this particular point. Every one of these segments that we've gone over for these 10 weeks, and including next week, all are interlinked. I'm going to say that again. Every one of these classes that's been done and will have been done, including next week, are all interlinked, which is why we do this, because we want you to begin to understand when you don't have certain information, it becomes enormously difficult for you to accomplish certain purposes that you're trying to accomplish because all your information is not there. So again, anybody got any questions offhand based on what's going on? Everybody understand at least this point what's been said and or discussed? Give me a thumbs up, please. I want to make sure I haven't put people to sleep yet. I know it's Monday morning. Thank you very much. Let me get a couple more thumbs here. Where are my people at? Everybody's good? Everybody's good? All right. So, of course, I have a couple questions for y'all. See all those smiling faces. Yeah, that's right, Shay. So let's start with our first one. And our first particular question, please respond in the chat or you can come online. Whoa, that's interesting. There we go. Which is more important, revenues or profits? What do you think, folks? Revenue or profits? All right, all right. Some people are remembering. I love it. I love it. Yes, profits are more important. Revenues are necessary, but profits are more important. Profits is what help you carry the company into the next month, the next year, the next millennium. Second question, which is more important, profits or cash flow? Now, this one I'm going to play music on, and I want you to think about it. Which is more important, profits or cash flow? Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Do 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 doom 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 doom. All right, got some interesting answers here. Interesting answers. I'm gonna wait a couple more seconds. All right. Is everybody ready for the answer? Profits are important, but cash flow is more important. That's right. If you listen to a lot of the stuff that I say and how I say it, it is a matter of process. And this is the whole idea. It is a matter of process. All right, Sid, have a good one. We're glad you were here. Barbara, but if you have profits, wouldn't it be easier just to get a whole? No, actually it's not.
Okay,
This is
maybe a
what
misunderstanding. Sorry.
Okay.
I must be getting a I'm thinking of liquid assets, and that cash is a liquid asset that you should be able to, if you have profits, then you have something to back it up with people wanting to give you money, like your banks and stuff like that would be wanting to give you money because you're showing a positive, statement. And so they know that you're, and I put that in quotes, good for it. So you'd be able to get a hold of the cash. So am I kind of wrong with that reasoning?
It's not that you're wrong, it's the methodology. Cash is always going to be more important because, yes, you need to have cash in the business to be able to do certain things. However, what a lot of people miss, and this is why the whole thing about understanding the numbers become important, because you could have enough revenues. You supposedly have paid off your expenses. You might actually have a profit, but there are items that do not show up on the income statement, such as if you had a loan, the only thing that shows up on an income statement in a loan, remember, because it's split into two parts, it's your principal and it's your interest. Your interest will show up on your income statement, not the principal amount. The principal amount actually shows up in the balance sheet. You may have other impacts of cash that are taking from the business that don't even show up on the income statement. So if you actually have cash, that's fine. There's an interesting argument which is coming up again about credit and how credit functions. Now, credit in most financial markets is kind of looked at as cash because it only takes a couple days to supposed to come through the particular account. However, that may not necessarily be true, because what ends up happening is that credit may go bad. And by that, I mean, yeah, somebody swiped it on the credit card, but the credit card was stolen. Credit card didn't have enough money on it. Now, most financial institutions have gone through this piece where they will actually pay on a card. However, you, as the owner of the card, now suddenly get hit with pretty much what amounts to NSFs, charges you've never seen before, wondering why they're showing up on your particular account, or card was just stolen, didn't get a chance to close it. It's closed the same day somebody makes a major purchase. So cash, yes, becomes enormously important. Cash on the books is defined really by a cash flow statement. Profits are seen more on an income statement. Cash flow is on a cash flow statement. If you ever hit zero in a cash flow statement, you cannot pay anything associated with the following month. Again, we don't have, unfortunately, the time for this kind of class to really go through cash flow statements. But banks started really using cash flow statements a long time ago, and then they really began to get the public, listen, if you're going to apply for a loan, you need to have a cash flow statement. We don't really look at income statements because income statements are not telling us your true picture. So yes, cash is important. You have to have it. But normally when you're illustrating it to somebody, the cash flow statement is, or your bank statement might be the only ways that you actually identify the fact that you actually have cash. But if you don't have profits every month, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a way just to take profits. It's like 3 times profits should actually cover most of the stuff that you're dealing with operationally. That's just a rule of thumb, okay? Most people don't have 3 times profits. They're going for loans. I need the loan. I need investment. Well, no, let me stick to loans. I need a loan. Okay, you got a little bit of profit, but the profit that you actually have is not enough to actually make the payment even on the loan by 2 times. Because what a bank actually will do is they've got their own formula. You have to be able to cover, first of all, interest, because that's how they get paid. The principal becomes another issue altogether. And you got to be able to work the next month. So if you only got $250, which is left over, but your loan bill is $125, you're like, well, I have enough to pay the loan. However, do you have enough that carries over into the next month, plus the sales that you're supposed to are going to have that are at least cash, to be able to pay your people, to be able to pay your bills, to be able to pay yourself? So I know that was a really long explanation for what was going on, but it's one of those deals that cash flow happens to be just more important than profits in this case. And here's our third question of the 4 uses of business funds. Which is more important? Employees and operational debt, or operational expenses and you? Which one is it, folks? Employees and operational debt, or operational expenses and you? Let's see what we come up with. Do 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 do. Come on, people. I got 3 people, 4 people. Okay. I'm liking most of these answers. Come on, give me 3 more people. 3 more people. Two more people. I feel like I'm at an auction house. And we're gonna another 2 out. We got 1 more. Well, here's 1 more. Can I get 1 more? 1 more person. Smiley faces don't count. 1 more person. 1 more person. 1 more person. Employees and operational debt or operational expenses and you. Come on, all I need is 1 more. Yay! All right. Most of you were actually correct in the fact of employees and operational debt. Now, someone said operational expenses and you. Traditionally, you were supposed to be the last person, quite honestly. Operational expenses are actually important. However, covering your employees and being able to handle your operational debt appropriately will allow you that if you happen to run short on a particular occasion, you can again leverage your position with a financial institution so that you can actually pay your employees and be able to keep your operation moving. Another important factor, employees, you will have to get them, and maybe 1 or 2. 1099ers, contract people are not considered a part of your operation from a responsibility aspect. I mean, there's a lot of conversation about, outsourcing, your particular needs, but the reality gets to be that's a new era thought process that I don't necessarily personally agree with totally, because again, what did I happen to mention about how do you tell whether or not a company is actually growing? And one of them happens to be an increase of employees. You can outsource all day long, but how many families are you willing to be responsible for to actually help their lives get better while they help your business get better? All right. Number 4. Looking for some good answers on this one. What are you looking to do as a business owner or a business owner to be? Are you looking to be in business or are you looking to grow your business? Are you looking to be in business or are you looking to grow your business? Okay, getting some answers in. Yeah. Let me get 5 more people. Okay, that's 5. 4. 4. Need 4 more people, please. Can I get 4 more people? Are you willing to be in business or grow your business? Important question. If you just want to be in business, give me a thumbs up if you can't put it in the chat. I'm still looking for 4 additional people here. Adam, you can help me out if you see somebody other than that which is actually marked in the chat. Do you want to be in business or do you want to grow a business? I need 4 more people. Come on, folks. 3 more people. Need 3 more people. 2 more people. One more person.
1 more people.
Ta-da! Thank you, everybody. I'm glad you said grow your business. There's not an incorrect answer to this question, but if your business does not grow, okay, and I'm gonna leave it like that. If your business does not grow, we have to be able to spread out to expand what we've got. We have to break the mindset that we feel we have to be clustered in a small area, that we have to serve a small group of people. I have shared with a couple of folks, and I can do this now because I'm not a super reviewer. I was a part of one of the initial reviewers for the Back to Business Erie County grant. Now, most of the people I had were all from outside of the city of Buffalo. But I will tell you something that surprised me enormously. The businesses that actually were applying for the grant, I mean, technically, I'm not surprised. People are going to apply for anything they can to help them do whatever they need to do. What surprised me is how much money these people were making. And I'm not just talking about revenues. These are small companies, as far as I'm concerned, making upwards of $750,000, who had at least 15 to 20 employees, to whom the business owner may have only put $20,000 or $30,000 that they made for the year, but because of the company's legal structure, they also share in the profits for the company, which in one particular case actually made the person make $90,000 a year. Now I want you to think about that, please. They only put, and this is the strange part about it, I think in this particular case, they only put $20,000 as officer compensation. $20,000. But they had enough in profit that once shared amongst its members, gave them a particular salary of $90,000. We have to get it together, folk. We really do. There is a market out there for the products and services that you actually provide. And this is not even about trying to be greedy. As traditionally, I mean, unless we're doing a straight out hustle, we're not greedy. We're trying to help and serve our particular communities. But when I made that comment before about being able to have contracts that bring you revenues, that bring you just a lot of money, that a lot of the money that's being brought in gets put to the side so you can actually provide potentially no charge services to our particular community. That's a model. You're not going to see a lot of people talking about it, but that's a model. Okay, so again, let me stop prognosticating here because I got to get through this particular piece and we got to discuss this stuff. So, organizational management in and of itself. Legal structure, board of director or board of advisors. You have to make a determination and understand the legal structure. And many of you actually are DBAs, doing business as, okay? Doing business as. If you're doing that right now, seriously consider upgrading to an LLC. You can still be a sole member LLC, but it provides you with some interesting benefits. It also, to my most recent knowledge, will also allow you to be able to deal with certain companies that now will not deal with DBAs. They want to deal with what they believe are quote unquote companies of structure, size, and weight. But an LLC still allows you to be small. It allows you to be able to get these contracts. It allows you to be able to bring on people, but that legal structure is enormously important. Some of you that will be subchapter S's, that will be multi-member LLCs, and definitely C Corps have a board of directors. The board of directors is a group of individuals which extend itself beyond the president or the CEO of the company, which is 9 times out of 10 going to be you. But you report to these individuals just from an aspect of what's going on kind of overall with the company. Board of directors do not run companies. They should not run companies. This is a warning I'm going to take for everybody who actually wants to put a non-for-profit together. I've been a part of non-for-profit boards that the boards, they just knew way too much about what was going on in the agency itself and pretty much tried to run the agency. That is not its purpose. The board of directions is to function as a guide to the particular entity by members who supposedly have some ability and talent of their own, specialists in a particular field. And so these are individuals to guide you through, but be very clear. If you have a board of directors and you as the president are jacking up, the board can actually legally remove you from the company, even if you are a founder. Board of advisors. Everybody should have a board of advisors, even if they don't have a board of directors. The difference is this: a board of advisors is not fiduciarily responsible to the company. A board of directors is. A board of advisors could actually be your mastermind alliance. You're doing things and you need to call somebody and say, what do you think? This is your particular area of expertise. Am I kind of going in the right direction? And to listen and take in information and knowledge they may provide to you. But when you are becoming a company that's about to go public, like an IPO, and quite honestly, you start to grow and you're looking to leverage, get funding for your company, these items are items that will be in question as a part of your relative application. Please remember, especially with banks, we don't lend to companies. We lend based on the individual. Let me say that again. We do not lend to companies. We make our decisions based on the individual and what that individual has an ability to do. Where is their knowledge at? How do you avoid a catastrophe? Is there a plan that's in place that you've actually thought about with regard to your company? This is the stuff that finance people actually look at and look into. Resources. I love most of y'all to death. I really do, or to life. Love y'all to life. But this is the thing. Most of you don't have a bank or a banker. Or if you have a bank, you don't know who the banker is, who the manager is. You know who the teller is. Teller's not going to get your loan. The manager will. So if you have a bank and you're dealing with a bank and you're putting your business money in that particular bank, you need to find out who the heck and get to know, quote unquote, the manager. Hello, introduce yourself. This is what I'm doing. I have an account here. And I want to talk to you once every 3 months just to give you an idea of what's actually going on with the company, because I'm looking down the road to possibly get a loan. Right now I'm positioning myself, but I'm looking down the road. That is a better plan than I'm running in, hi, I'm the president. I don't know you from Adam, and I need $15,000, $20,000 to pay my employees because I happen to start a contract and, you know, I kind of got caught off guard, and nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear that you're a planner. They want to hear that you thought down the road, that you thought about the process. Insurance company and an agent. I've had this kind of discussion with Pat Stone in particular, and maybe we can begin to put just a piece together about just insurances. I'll give you a quick horror story that I have. One of my particular clients was actually coming to see me, got into an auto accident, and pretty much went through hell trying to get some compensation from the insurance company because the car had the personal coverage on it. Now, you don't have to have corporate insurance on your car. But what was more interesting that we found out later was that there are a couple of riders. If you happen to be an independent business owner and you happen to use your personal car to transact business, you might want to put that rider on your policy. Because if something actually happens to you in that car while you're on your way to handling business, not work, but handling your business, they will not pay you for any potential wages and or quote unquote revenue compensation that may have been lost because of the accident. And I'm gonna leave it like that. You must keep this in mind. An attorney. Not everybody needs an attorney. However, what's my magic piece here? You might have to, depending on what you do. If you deal with a lot of people as a part of what you do and you actually are engaged in a process that potentially can affect a person's life, better find yourself an attorney. Accountant. Many people actually do their own books. That's fine. However, then you need to have somebody kind of look in the back end to make sure that your entries are put in right, that your income statement looks kind of relevant, your balance sheet items are in the right place. But you don't necessarily always need an accountant per se, but at minimum, get yourself a good bookkeeper. Now, if you get to a point where you're, asking for $500,000 and all that other stuff, you're probably going to have your books audited, and so therefore you can hire an accountant to actually do that. Business consultant. This is the piece that saddens me most. Dealt with way too many people who have an accountant and an attorney, and the thing about it is they feel that that's all they need. An accountant keeps an eye on the numbers. An attorney keeps an eye on the legal direction and possibly changing of any necessities that are negatively going to impact the company. The business consultant is one who, if he's good, he or she is good, they fit right in the middle because they will understand the numbers and they will have some understanding of legal impact. And they can assist in guiding a particular company to their success. I am a business consultant. I can't tell you how many people don't feel that they need any assistance services from me because they have an attorney and they have an accountant. And they don't talk to either one of those folks with regard to what's going on in their business. So, me don't know. All right. This particular piece, ownership, of course, and primary administration. Who's the president or the owner? By the way, if you are a DBA, you cannot be a president. You are an owner. I want to make that clear. So a lot of people get confused with that. If you are a DBA, doing business as, you're an owner. If you have an LLC, you can be president. If you have a subchapter S, you can be a president. If you have a C Corp, you can be a president. You can be a chief executive officer with a C Corp as well as a subchapter S, as well as a multiple member LLC. Vice president or partners, if you happen to have them. Who are they? Key persons and primary duty. We don't talk about primary persons all that much because we normally don't have businesses that are of the size, but we don't necessarily have to be big companies. If your niece works for your particular company, or your niece holds vital information associated with how to open up the safe to get to the important information because you happen to be hospitalized and you can't get to it, your niece is a key person. And quite honestly, I'd put her on the books. There are other individuals that work with you and for you that should be really a part of your books. I understand why we normally don't do it. It's a money thing. But you need to be very clear on what key persons do, what their duties actually are, and more interestingly, Does their duty in any way, shape, or form impact the operations of the business? So if you're not there, are there things they can do that legitimately and legally cause them to be in a position officially to run your business? Then that person also needs to be considered. First of all, they are a key person, and you probably need to take a look at key person insurance for them as well. Organizational management. Ooh. Generally has risks. We fill out loan applications, guess what? Bankers are looking at risks. Do you know, how do you solve? How do you mitigate? What is the directors, if you have a board of directors, sometimes what are even their experiences? I keep telling you, these are important people. If you're gonna have them, hopefully they have something to bring to the table other than a body to say yes or no. Are your consultants that work for the company, are they helping you with certain items? Agreements not to compete. Many of us have actually hired individuals and then they left us and then they grab the same customers that we're going after and we get angry. But you know what? You don't have an agreement not to compete. And I wish Crystal actually Rodriguez was on this call because she can give you a real long story about most of these particular items and their relative importance. Insurance held, as I said, key employees. Because also if you lose a key employee and they're the person that happened to do the payroll, guess what? You're in a temporary bind in paying your people. More interesting, I've seen people just pay their employees and then have to go backwards to actually figure out how the paperwork should have been done. And what is the prior experience of the officer, the owner, or the directors overall? Do you have an ability to solve certain issues, problems, items up for bid from The Price is Right? This particular piece here now, this is my last piece, are the other issues that we do not necessarily address. If anybody actually filled out any of the assistance applications that came out of the Small Business Administration during COVID, the PPP or the Small Business Administration EIDL, there's a piece which is a part of the application process that asks these questions. Are there any insolvency issues? Which means we having a problem actually breaking down the business because there are way too many people that you owe. Are there any criminal issues that actually exist? Is any officer or key person involved in a particular case or criminal act that, again, may or may not impact the business? Do you have any civil lawsuits against anybody, or do they have them against you? Are there any administrative issues that are not being solved? Or there's someone that's a key person in administration that is no longer a part of the company, but they are in a decision-making position. And then internally, what self-regulatory issues that may or may not exist with regard to the company? And again, overall, are there any other risks that are associated with the company that you run? I mention this stuff for this reason alone. And you guys can go back and take a look at this particular piece over again. But all these issues are important to the business that you run in order for it to grow. And so when you plan, of course, you plan to succeed. But when you are organized, it helps you to see clearly on what has been planned. So with that, does anybody have any questions offhand? Anyone want to add any additional words of wisdom? Does anybody know anything that I missed? Speak now. It's like a wedding, or forever hold your peace. I want the best from everybody that's on this particular educational webinar series. And part of it is being able to hear about some things that we don't normally deal with, quite honestly, on a day-to-day business. So if nobody has any questions, Adam, I'm tipping it back over to you.
Back to me, huh? Okay, well, I don't think I have any words of wisdom. Mr. McCarley is the wise one in the group here. So, but sir, thank you again for the 10th week in a row. Wonderful class, informational, a lot of education was passed on today. You guys, again, be sure to check out the follow-up emails you guys are going to get, because it will have the slides from Mr. McCarley's presentation from today. It'll have the link to the YouTube video that you can check out online there and watch as you go through that again and watch it, go back through your notes and all that. And of course, join us next week. I guess I could go ahead and share my screen with y'all. So there we go. If you join us next week for week 11, Mike, what are we talking about next week in week 11?
We're actually going to have a very different conversation about disaster preparedness.
Ooh, wonderful. That's uplifting. That's what we're all looking for right now is disaster preparedness. But this is a great time to talk about it. If you guys have been on any of our forums in the past, you know we've talked about disaster preparedness in our forums, as well as business startup boot camp. So this is going to be a different take on that, and even more information we passed along to you guys in week 11. And then we'll round it out in week 12, the week after next. So 2 weeks from today, we'll round out next level with week 12. And what are we talking about in week 12, Mike? Do we have that? Do we know that?
Well, actually, week 12 is going to be an interesting piece. We're going to have an overall discussion of what the previous 11 weeks were about, and I have a special surprise for the entire class, because we have 4 individuals that are actually going to do their pitch part 1 and 2, which technically is just going to now be just 1, because I want everybody to actually hear how an effective pitch is executed.
Wonderful. So guys, we're coming up. We've got 2 left. And for those of you who have attended 4 or 5 classes, be sure to attend the next 2. Because if you attend the next 2 and you reach that 6th, anybody who reaches 6 classes gets to graduate. You're going to be invited to graduation. And graduation is 2 weeks from this Friday. So December 4th from 12 to 1:30. It's not going to be on a Monday. So you got to change that around a little bit. Your mind's been next level is on Monday. Graduation is going to be on Friday, December 4th from 12 to 1:30. Jahida has put the links in the chat. We'll send those out in the email too for you to register, and for you to give a link to your friends, families, loved ones, even your enemies. You want to invite your enemies to this so they can be jealous of you that you get to graduate. The mayor's going to be speaking at this, so send it to the people you want to show up. But as we do every week, we want to feed you. We can't be with you in person. We can't have the fellowship face-to-face, so we want to feed you. For those of you in Buffalo, the options are Freddie J's Barbecue and Sunshine Vegan Eats. So whichever side of the spectrum you want to fall on this week, as we come up on the holidays, if you're trying to prepare for the holidays, you know you're going to overeat for Thanksgiving, maybe go for Sunshine Vegan Eats. If you're leaning in to an expanding waistline, maybe like I am, go for Freddie J's Barbecue and do that. If you're in Rochester, El Pilon Criollo and the Arnett Cafe are your options. You guys can check those out. Let us know in the chat where you want to eat. We'll send you a voucher and eat on us. I know a couple of you guys had some issues maybe last week or the week before with one of the restaurants taking your vouchers. We've corrected that. We've worked it out with them. There should not have been an issue, and there's not going to be an issue moving forward. So everything's fine with that. But let us know in the chat where you guys want to eat. And before we wrap it up and let you guys go back to work or helping with virtual school or taking care of the kids, whatever you guys are doing today, reminder that the next 2 weeks, next level, weeks 11 and 12, are Monday from 12 to 1:30. Graduation is December 4th from 12 to 1:30. That's a Friday. Mind Your Business, which is for event planners. You can check that out at mindyourbusinessclass.weebly.com. And the Road to Wealth event is this Thursday, November 19th, from 3 to 5 p.m. That's free. If you want to come learn about grants and funding options, come check us out on Thursday, November 19th, this Thursday, 3 to 5 p.m. You have registration links to all this stuff in the follow-up email you'll get the next day or so. And then something fun, Profit and Loss podcast from Pat Stone Enterprise Center. Jahida and I host that every week. Check that out. I keep teasing you guys that we're going to have Mr. McCarley on, and we are going to have Mr. McCarley on once everybody's schedules kind of ease in or slow down a little bit here with everything going on. So Mr. McCarley is on our list. He'll be our first guest, actually. So if you guys want to check out the Profit and Loss podcast. Other than that, guys, have a great week. Thanks for hanging out with us. We love doing this for you and with you. And we've got 2 weeks left. So let's finish it out strong. And we will see you next Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.